Hey, how's everybody doing this afternoon? I want to talk to y'all for a few minutes about the idea of educating your clients. It's nothing more. It's nothing more fulfilling than dealing with a customer or a client that's educated and understands your culture, what it is that you're selling, what it is that you're promoting, and how it is that you are helping them. It's nothing more exciting and exhilarating than dealing with an educated, competent person. On the other hand, it's nothing more debilitating. It's nothing more I should say, nothing more draining than dealing with people who don't understand what it is that you're doing. And I've just seen this with people. I'm like, listen to me, brother. Listen to me, sister. You collect money from people way too fast. And they're like, why you say that, brother Rick? I say because the people that you're dealing with, they're not educated about what you're doing. And I don't see you doing a lot of education about what it is that you're doing. And that's a bad business practice. That's not a good business practice. You know why? Because when people are uneducated, they think they understand your culture. And then they come into your culture unaware of what the qualifications are for them to be able to do business in your culture. Good afternoon. How you doing, Lisa? And you just can't have a culture where anybody can come in and do business with you because you might accept some money, but it'll kill you. All right. You might accept some money, but you're gonna have some high blood pressure. You might accept some money, but you're gonna have a miserable life. Why? Because being around people who are uneducated is miserable. Are you hearing me? Especially people who think they're educated and they're uneducated. It's a miserable way to live. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Folks who think they understand stuff they don't really understand, think they know things they don't really know, because you accepted their money without qualifying them and making them or insisting that they come through a process to be able to do business with you. You hear what I'm saying? There's nothing more frustrating than that. So that's why I do financial IQ challenges, and that's why the only way somebody can actually get a private trust through us is they have to come to class and be educated. I don't care how much money they got. I don't care where they're from. I don't care what kind of pedigree they got because I don't work for money. I work for purpose. And I teach everybody work for purpose and you'll make plenty of money. Why? Because people who are purposeful, they'll come and spend their money with you. And you'll spend your money with people that are purposeful too, because you're doing everything for a reason intentionally. You're not just out here willy nilly in the marketplace, just trying to get your hands on some money. Right? Hear what I'm talking about? Because that is a headache. That's an exercise in futility. And believe you me, you're going to pay a lot more for accepting somebody's money whose money you don't want. I hear what I'm talking about? Only deal with educated people. If they don't want to be educated, then tell them, then God bless you, I love you, but I don't want to be bothered with you. Why? Because you think you know stuff that you don't know. And you're going to be a pain in the butt. That's what you're going to be. All right. You got to learn to turn down some money. Okay. Live with some character and live with some dignity. Okay. Be a king, be a queen. Don't just accept people money just because they got some. Make sure the person is educated. Make sure that they understand if we're going to be doing some business together, we have this is how it goes. So that come in ruining everything because one bad apple it spoils the whole bunch. When you get around people who think they know a lot, they come in and they start trying to teach you what they don't even know. Did you hear what I said? I'm teaching you this afternoon, real quick, before I take my wife to this basketball game. I just want to talk to y'all about this for a few minutes, and that's that it's not good. It's just not good practice. It's not good business practice to take people's money without educating them. That's why shame on you all who are coaches and teachers and trainers. And I don't see you on here coaching and teaching and training. Shame on you. You say, why is that, Brother Ricky? Because I want to know about what you do. I might want to buy it. You say, well, Brother Ricky, just come on over and just buy something. I don't know what you're selling. You say, what do you mean? I don't see you enough. I don't see you in the marketplace to know what you're selling. I'm a real easy customer. I'm a real easy person to sell something to if you got something worth buying. In fact, every day I want to buy something from somebody. I'm looking to buy something from somebody. But I'm like, I don't know anything about you. I've never seen you. You got two videos out, you got one course out, and you really can, and you just want people to come in and do some business with you. I'm like, I'm not even educated enough to be doing what it is that you. I'm not even educated enough to be doing to get together with you because I don't even know what you're doing. All right. So if I was you all, I would start. You say, Ricky, I just don't want to be saturating myself. Okay. I can hear what you're thinking. So let me tell you what I believe I hear you thinking. Brother Rick, I don't want to saturate myself. I don't want to be like online every day talking to people about stuff because then I've been ran out of information and stuff. Well, I want to teach you. I want to challenge that thought because that's absolutely not true. I want to challenge it. Let me tell you something about God. God is a replenisher of the brain. Did you hear what I said? I said God is a replenisher of the brain. And when you are a creative individual, you don't run out of creativity. What happens is that the more you create and bless people with, the smarter you become and the more resourceful you become and the more information you have to share with people, not less. Are you listening to me? You are a well of water springing up in everlasting life. That's what's inside of your belly, an amazing, resourceful, unlimited resourcefulness. It's the only reason one day you ain't gonna be able to have things to teach people is because you're gonna die, and that's it. That's the only time you're gonna run out of things to teach people. I'm telling you what's realistic. Because once you to this well of teaching, this well of training, this well of giving, this well of sharing. Once you start tapping into this well, you start finding out that the only issue that you're going to have is, Lord, allow me to go to sleep because I got too much to teach. I got too many things to train people on, and I just want some rest. Can I get some rest so I can get up in the morning and go back at it? You don't run out of things to say. You run into things to say. You don't run out of things to teach. You run into things to teach. You don't drain yourself. You do. You fill that well up, and that's why it's important that you teach people. Are you hear what I'm talking about? Teach people don't, and don't take their money if they don't want to be taught. You say everybody don't want to be taught, Brother Ricky. Well, everybody not worthy of you accepting their money. Did you hear what I said? See, people got this money thing mixed up. They really think when they give a smarter person some money, they really honestly think that they did the person a favor that they gave the money to. I'm like, that's so far from the truth. When you give a smarter person some money, they did you a favor accepting the money that you gave. And I don't accept everybody's money. Why? Because I'm like, you don't want to learn. And you in too much of a hurry. People be in a hurry, they like, I'm used to see this is what people used to. People are used to trying to get people in a hurry to buy something. I'm not in a hurry to get nobody to buy nothing. Why? Because I don't want the headache that comes along with it. That's why anybody that comes along, they say, Brother Ricky, I want a meeting. So that's $50,000 if you want a personal meeting. I give it to you. All right. Want a personal meeting is $50,000. They say, well, I say, okay, so stop hee-hawing around. You must not have a $50,000 problem because that's what I saw. I saw $50,000 problems. So if you want to talk to me in person, that's what we're having a conversation about. Other than that, you can come in and you can learn. You can really, really learn how to get wealthy with us by coming to a financial IQ challenge with a whole lot of like-minded people who already came for the point of raising their IQ. Ain't nobody in here arguing and all that kind. That's not what they came for. Like I shouldn't say nobody because somebody's gonna always have a dissenting view. But I mean that the majority of the people, when you come into an environment like that, they all came to learn. So you are in a learning environment. All right. So this is what you got to teach your people. How to come into a learning environment because most of the environments that you're in, they are competitive environments. They aren't learning environments. So if you're going to teach people, you got to bring them into a learning environment because we've been taught how to compete ever since we was little kids because of this fake school system that turned us into a bunch of zombies and independent folk who ain't, or people who are not interdependent, faking like we independent because we're not independent because we independently ain't even got nothing. But we fake like we got something and then we compete with each other and ain't even got nothing to even be competing with. Are you hear what I'm talking about? So I just wanted to inspire you today because some of you are amazing teachers, amazing, have amazing mind. The whole world should know about what it is that you're doing. You're just reluctant to teach and you're trying to sell without teaching. And I'm telling you, that's not a good idea. Selling without teaching is an exercise in futility. And all you're really doing is begging for the anxiety that comes along with it because now you've accepted somebody's money and they bugging the hell out of you. You're like, hey, no, you should know that. And they like, I should know what? I'm like, you should know that, brother. You should know that, sister. This is what you're telling people. I know how it is. I said, I know how it is. You're talking to people and they're in your quarters and you took their money right away. You didn't qualify 'em. You took their money way too fast. You was way too much in a hurry to take their money because you're violating some principles. And the principle is Proverbs 20:1 and 5. And it says, the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but to everybody that is hasty, only to want. that's teaching you how to keep your blood pressure down. Are you listening to me? The Bible is like, be anxious for nothing. In other words, be so far ahead of the game that you don't need nobody's money, no individual's money, and you don't need their individual presence only if they want to bring it around, and if they want to bring it around based on what? Your terms, because you are the teacher. You teach on your terms. You don't teach on other people's terms. If they tell you, somebody had the audacity to tell me one time, listen, let me tell you the way I need to be taught. I say, let me tell you how much you need to stop smoking that weed. All right? You on that cigar weed. That's what you on. All right? How dare you come around here with that kind of arrogant spirit to tell somebody you don't even know what's going on, can't put cheese on a Whopper. You dig what I'm saying? You can't bust a grape in a tractor and try and act important. Are you listening to me? Don't let people come around you trying to act important because they're not important. They are impotent. All right. They left the R out. Impotent means what? They helpless. And a helpless person who don't want to be helped is not a qualified person in your life. Did you hear what I said? A helpless person that don't want to be helped is disqualified from hanging out in your quarters because you are a king and you are a queen. And if they don't want to hang out in a kingly, queenly quarters, understand that they operate in dealing with royalty. If that's not their temperament, if that's not their disposition, then the faster they get in the funky in the wind like a funky breeze, the better. Why? Because don't you waste your time with that. If a person don't want to be taught, they are not worth your time. Your time is precious. Are you hearing me? That's why we do a challenge. And if you haven't signed up for our challenge, you want to come, just put challenge in the chat and we'll send a link to you because next week we're gonna be getting down. We're gonna be getting in. It's gonna be the last November, the last 2 months of this year. I'm gonna be teaching people how to open up tax-free trust and teach them a whole lot of things. And they have to come through the challenge, and that's the only way people can get to me. They like, I don't want, I don't want to do that, brother Ricky. I just want one of those trusts, man. I heard about how y'all got $1 million check. I say, yeah, you heard about how we got $1 million check, but you don't understand it. They say, yeah, I saw you live a couple of times, bro, and I just want to get in. I say, no, you frantic is what you are, okay? And you act like I ain't got no life. Are you hearing me? What's your question there? You said it's a problem. They don't want to learn. Yeah, it's a problem. They don't want to learn. That's why they pay. Yeah. Well, I'm saying that you ought to be working for purpose, that you shouldn't be working for money. You say, if I shouldn't be working for money, Ricky, then why should I charge somebody something? Let me tell you something. First of all, money answers all things, so that's how things are paid for. So that's a rhetorical question. You already know the answer to that. But what I'm saying is that when people pay for things, and if you can really just understand this principle right here, this will help make you a very wealthy person. When I say wealthy, I mean valuable person, where you really enjoy your life. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about a valuable person. You make a lot of money too. If you can really just get this lesson in your head, and that's that when people come around, they pay for something. People pay for the thing. They ain't paying for the thing for you. They paying for the thing for them. They doing themselves a favor. They're not doing you no favor. Hey, you hear what I'm saying? It's like Philip when he met this young man Philip in the Bible, the book of Acts, when everybody was evangelizing, when the church was first coming up. And so he met this brother. This guy was already rich. He was the treasurer of Queen Candace's money, the queen of Ethiopia. He was her treasurer, but he was an unlearned man. He didn't understand the Bible. So he was sitting there and he's trying to read the book of Isaiah, but he didn't know what he was reading. So Philip came over, who's very well learned, a very well learned man who really know the scriptures good, really understand the scriptures good. I mean, right in the mix, got the power of God all inside him. So this brother is fortunate when Philip shows up. Philip not fortunate, he's fortunate. You say, but brother Ricky, the dude was rich. Now that don't mean nothing. He had money, but he didn't have wisdom, he didn't have knowledge, and he didn't have the understanding of who Jesus Christ is. So his little money didn't mean nothing. You hear what I'm saying? So when Philip showed up, the man looked over at Philip. Philip said, do you understand what you're reading? All right. And my man was like, no, I don't understand what I'm reading. Can you help me? So Philip told him, this is in the book of Acts, 9th chapter, I believe. So he said, Philip, he said, do you understand what you're reading? And he said, no, I don't understand what I'm reading. He said, except some man come up here and help me. So Philip was like, okay, cool. So Philip jumped up in a chariot and started teaching that brother. He was reading the 53rd chapter of Isaiah, but he didn't know what he was reading. He said, is a man is he talking about himself? Is he talking about himself in the third person? Or is he talking about another person? He said, no, that's Isaiah talking about Jesus. He said he was talking about how Jesus is going to come on the face of the earth and how he's going to save sinners and how he's going to change the whole way that the whole world think and teach everybody to love a God. He gonna come from out of heaven as a man, and he gonna teach everybody to love a God. And it's gonna be a beautiful thing. Matter of fact, he already came and already went back to heaven, and I'm one of his boys. He's like, what? You one of his boys? He's like, yeah, man. He say, you need to get out the house more often, all right? You don't know what's he say, so that you reading about God. He said, that's what you're reading about. You're reading about the God that created the whole world. And I kicked it with him. And what? And now he gone back to heaven. And now we out here preaching and teaching what it is that he taught us. He teaching us how to love people. That's what we teach. Some of man was like, he's overwhelmed, right? The eunuch guy, the rich dude who's sitting up in a chariot. He's overwhelmed. He's like, man. He said, ain't nobody put it on me like that before. He said, there goes some water right here. He said, why don't we just go ahead and we'll get baptized? Now, even after all of that, Philip told him, he said, man, are you sure? Let me ask you a question. When the last time somebody tried to write you a check and you asked them, are you sure? Because, the, are you committed to what it is that we're talking about here? Do you really understand enough for you to go ahead on and make this commitment? Naturally, the man didn't understand everything he needed to understand because that's not how commitments go. You learn enough to make up your mind, I'm in. And once you make up your mind, I'm in, you can put in the work that's necessary. Are you hear what I'm talking about? So that's why it's so beautiful that Philip didn't just automatically say yes to this man because Philip wasn't no thirsty brother. Are you hearing me? When you are full of wisdom, full of life, full of energy, full of invigoration, when you bring an amazing amount of value to people, you're not in no hurry to get with nobody. Are you listening to me? You just take your time and you what to cut say, baby, we can do it. Take our time, do it right. We can do it, baby. Do it all night. Take your time. See, you can take your time when you know that what you got is really valuable. And the person, they have to qualify for what you got. You ain't got to qualify for them to buy something. They got to qualify to buy it. Are you hearing me? If you learn how to educate your clients, then they'll treat you that way because they can see clearly that you don't care whether they buy it or not. Why? Because you was educated before you met them, and you're gonna be okay if they do it or whether they don't do it because you're gonna do it. Are you hearing me? Did y'all get that? I'm teaching you today. Educate your clients. Okay? Stop. I'm just suggesting some things to you. I'm your big brother. Okay, I love you. All right, I want to see you make money. And I want to see you live a life of amazing amount of character and dignity in it. All right. I want to see you really get ahead. I don't want to see you begging people. And I don't want to see you trying to push people into doing things and trying to coerce people into doing things because that country foolishness, it don't work. All you do is live a life full of anxiety, on the edge all the time, trying to convince people to buy stuff from you. I'm telling you that it doesn't work. It's not biblical, and it ain't even necessary, and it's not even effective. All right, why? Because it's not a. Those are not biblical standards. Biblical standards they make you rich. Why? Because the person sees, quite frankly, that man, this woman, this man is a very educated person, and in the area that I'm not educated in, because all of us are educated in something, but I'm talking about in what it is that you do, and what it is that you do. You got to educate people. Now, I'm not saying that you're not educated. I believe that you all are amazingly educated in what it is that you do. What I don't see you doing, and the reason I come on live so much to talk to you, is to encourage you to do the same thing. Why? Because we already rich. We don't even need no money. We don't need no more clients for the rest of our life. We done broke the code. All we got to do is just do what we do, get our money back, go on a bank, deposit money, get our money back, and travel around the world and just have a good time. You say, so what's your motivation for talking to people, Brother Ricky? Because you don't know what I know. So I teach you. You say, well, okay, well, just teach me for free then. See, one of the things that I'm teaching you is why it's so important for you to pay money. That's one thing that I teach you. You say, why is that? Because if you don't learn how to pay no money, you got a money demon on you. Okay. So even if somebody gave you some money, you'd be hoarding onto it and coveting it. And now you're in worse shape than you were before you even got some money. Because now you got some money and now you got the responsibility of having it. And now you're going to end up busting hell wide open. Why? Because you're so covetous over that little money. You want to lose your life over no little money. What would the Bible say? What would a man give in exchange of his soul? All right. Or what would it cost a man if he gained the whole world and lose his soul? Why would a person walk around covetous over some little money? You don't have to be like that. Why? Because there's so much money, so many clients, so many folks who would want to get with you. All right. All right. I'd rather be with you. That's what they're saying to you. Yeah. Is that 3.5? Was it? Said I'd rather be with you. I don't know who that is. Bootsy, somebody. That was a cold cut though. I'd rather be with you. Yeah. That's what people are saying when you're not frantic. They like, listen, I'd rather be with you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's just like David's son. David had a son. I can't think of this cat's name now, but he raped his own sister. All right. Back in the day, you could have your, if you had a half sister, a half brother, whatever, y'all can get married back in the day. It was all good, right? So he really wanted this girl bad because she was fine, right? But he was lusting after her. He wasn't in love. He was in lust, right? So he lusting after yeah, it wasn't Absalom because Absalom is the one that killed his mom. Absalom the one that wanted his head, wanted to crack his head, right? So he said that was Bootsy Collins. Boy, I tell y'all, I feel grown around here when y'all come on. I feel grown around you grown folks. But anyway, David, so David's son ended up raping his half sister. Why? Because he was lusting after you, dig. So instead of making it right and saying, okay, baby, I shouldn't have gangstered the poo nanny like that, you dig. I'm out of order because I was lusting after you, but now I'm gonna make it right with you. You dig what I'm saying? So let's straighten it up and I'm go ahead and marry you, honor you, and all that sort of thing. Because I was lusting, baby. I'm gonna come clean. But instead of him doing that, he got an attitude and got real mad and went into pimp mode and kicked her out. She said, "Come on now, you can't front me off like that. How you gonna front me off like that? You just gonna what? Come over here and kidnap the poo nanny and then throw me out in the cold like that? What's up with that, play? What kind of lowdown?" So my man, what's my point? My man, he didn't realize that she was like, okay, I'll go ahead and be with you now. But you said, Ricky, that's a vicious story. What I'm teaching you is that it's the same mindset when you try to force people into doing business with you who you haven't educated. It's just like forcing a person. It's just like what? Violating a person and violating your own like virtue. You hear what I'm saying? You gotta be everybody write it down. You want to be a virtuous salesperson. All right. So everybody put BS in the chat. You want to be a virtuous salesperson. All right. I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to help you get some dignity. So when you start dealing with people, you can let them know you can come, you can do it, don't do it. It's totally up to you. I'm just teaching you what I do. And if what I do is what you like, then here are the rules and here's the protocol for you to come and get what it is that I'm showing you if you want it, but only if you want it under these circumstances and these rules and this protocol. Because if you really want it, then you'll do what? You'll come and you'll abide by the protocol to come and get it. Why? Because we are virtuous salespeople. We're not desperate salespeople. We're not thirsty salespeople. We ain't thirsty or desperate for nothing. And that's why we educate you so much, because after you get educated, then you can decide whether or not this is the crew that you want to ride with. Why? Because you got educated so much until now you can make an educated decision on what it is that you want to do. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? Is anybody ready to go educate some people now? Are you ready to educate some folk instead of will you please? I'm asking you. I don't solicit people for no money, and I don't say the word please much, but I'm begging you as your brother to please come and educate us. Would y'all do that? I'm begging you as your brother, as your friend, as your colleague, as a man that's concerned about your life. Are you hearing me? I'm begging you to come out the witness protection program and educate your people. I don't know what you're good at, all right? But I know you're good at something. Why? Because you're an amazingly gifted human being. We all are. All right. Ain't nobody no special than nobody else. It's just that most people will not educate folks on what they got. They just want the person to come in and buy it. I'm telling you that's not a good idea. All right. It's not a good idea. It's not sustainable. You might make a sale here, a sale there, but it's not the kind of life to live. Are you digging what I'm saying? Live the kind of life where people understand that, okay, this person is a real educator, a real giver in whatever that field is that they got. And see, we're online now. It's the internet now. Okay. Don't People don't have to go to 4 years to some little fake school and trick off all that money for a person that wasn't even educated. Did you hear what I said? They don't have to go to school no more for 4 years, trick off all that money. You spend $40,000 just to go to a little. What they sent me the other day told me it's $40,000 to go to the little community college I went to. All right. I was like, what's the $40,000? I could have paid it, but I was like, what the heck? If you want to take some little payments, that's cool since that's the way y'all go. Wow, stretch all that stuff out, put my money to better use. You hear what I'm saying? but I spent $40,000 just to go to a little community school. And the people they were not educated to teach me how to make money. They was educated about the stuff they was educated in, but most of it is frivolous and it got nothing to do with nothing. I took 6 math classes. I took finite math. I took statistics, 2 of them, pre-calculus, uh, online algebra. That was crazy. And outside of the idea that it taught me how to think critically and solve problems, it's a bunch of BS. Let's just cut to the quick. It ain't got nothing to do with me being rich. I'm rich just because I got common sense. All right. I got common sense and enough sense to do it to learn what it is that really make money and then teach it to people. And if you're gonna make some money, it's gonna be based on your common sense. It ain't gonna be based on your book knowledge. All right, because that book knowledge stuff is a bunch of book knowledge people walking around here broke as all get up. Ain't even doing the work that they went to school for. All that time in school, perpetrating and stuff, and working 2 jobs right now, and ain't neither one of them even attached to what they got a degree in. You got a big bill, and then you got 2 jobs that ain't even attached to that. And you mean to tell me that you don't want to help educate people with what you know? You know something that can get everybody up out of that kind of a funk. You know something that can get everybody up out of that kind of a situation, excuse me. And you refuse to teach that, and then I'm just talking to you today, just as your big brother, all right, as your big brother, as your uncle, as your colleague in business. I don't see enough of you talk. What time is it right now? It's what time is it right now? It's well, I got my glass. Okay, it's 4:47 in the afternoon. Okay, so this is prime time. A lot of people are up, moving around, paying attention. Okay, but if you look online right now and you look into the live section, which is basically TV, you might see 5 or 6 people that you know at any particular time teaching right now. Maybe 5 or 6 people in the internet era with all of this money and all of this information that we need to understand. We don't want to Google stuff to get paid. I need you to tell me what to do. I don't want to waste all my time looking it up. You just tell me what to do. All right. You know how to do something better than I know how to do it. Let me pay you. All right. But educate me so I can know I need it. Are you listening to me? If you educate me, then I know I need it. Then what? Now you ain't got to ask me to buy it. You done educated me. Now I'm gonna ask you, how can I buy it? Are y'all getting it? If y'all are y'all getting it, put GI in the chat if you're getting it. Are you getting it? All right. I'm just waiting. I'm just gonna take my wife to a ball game. I'm just teaching y'all for a little while. I know y'all are used to listening to me talking this time of day because enough is enough. I pretty much pep people pepper her out in the afternoon. I don't have no energy for stuff. I'm a morning guy, but I just want to help y'all. Okay. I just feel compelled to help y'all. Just sitting down, minding my own business. And God was like, talk to your brothers and sisters, Ricky, because they're not educating people. And they bad at communicating because they're trying to get people to buy stuff. I'm like, don't try to get nobody to buy nothing. Just educate them. Okay. And then after you educate them, and then they'll be asking you, can they buy it? All day long, people ask me, where do I send this check to? Where do I wire this money to? How can I? 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 And then I'm on the other side saying to myself, okay, do I want this person's money? Because the answer is not always yes. Sometimes it's no. Matter of fact, the easiest way to turn people down is to make sure that your price is so high until they say no to you right from the beginning. That's the easiest way to get rid of people who you really don't want to be around in the first place. Why? Because if they're not willing to pay no money, it's probably because they ain't gonna do what they was taught anyway. Probably. That's why they don't want to invest in money because they know they got to be committed to actually doing it. I don't like being around people that just come and like to learn stuff in theory. I'm like, that's a complete waste of a man and a woman's day. And I'm like, we grown men and women. All right, only do what you want to do. All right, only do what you want to do. Don't come around if you don't want to be around. All right, because you're gonna get checked if you come around here acting reluctant because you're bipolar. Because everybody around here, our whole attitude is smooth and laid back and cool for the game, and all. Ain't nobody forcing nobody to do nothing. Ain't nobody even interested in somebody who even slightly reluctant about doing something. We're not even interested in that kind of company. So we just want to educate you. And once you're educated enough, then you decide you want to do some deals. Then we'll decide whether or not it makes sense to us. Don't you want to live that way? Are you listening to me? Once you start educating people, you decide whether or not you want their money or not. Are you listening to me? Because don't be no money slave. All right. Everybody put MS in the chat. All right. Come on. No money slaves. We're not money slaves. We're educators. We educate people. And then you decide whether or not you want to spend your money. And we decide whether or not we want to take it. Are you hearing me? Come on. Put NMS. I know it's different. I know it's different from the way you've been taught, but I'm teaching you freedom. All right. I don't want you running around here acting like no thirsty slaves and stuff. No, no, no. You're a king. You're a queen. That's the way I expect you to act. That's the way God expects you to act. This is the kingdom of God on earth. It's not a frantic kingdom. It's not. It's not a kingdom of begging. It's not a kingdom of pleading. I told y'all the song that I hate the most. That's that cut that Jodeci wrote. Baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging, begging, baby. And ain't nobody begging. All right. I know the song sounds good, but I hate the word. I ain't begging nobody to do nothing. And if you educate people, you won't have to beg them to do nothing, but they will plead with you to accept their money if you educate them enough. Let me put it this is the last thing I got. And when you educate people, this is why I'm pleading with you all to educate people. This is why I'm actually soliciting you to help educate me so I can buy something from you. All right. If your stuff is good, I'm gonna buy it. All right. I'm gonna buy it. I tell all my friends to buy it too if your stuff is good. Okay. But if I don't know you, how am I gonna buy something from you? And these little quick little messages to try to get somebody's attention for 5 minutes, it don't work. You got to put your work in and get people to know who you are to educate people. Okay. So if you go on, this is just like going into it's just like going into a restaurant and they bring your meal out. And that meal is juicy, hot, delicious, fresh, and on time. What happens? You paying the bill is a pleasure, a privilege. You can't wait to get your money out. I ain't hear what I'm talking about. Why? Because it's juicy, it's hot, it's delicious, and it's on time. It's marinated. I hear what I'm talking about. And when stuff is marinated, that's what an education is like. In education, write this down in your notes, okay? An education marinates the mind of the people that you educate. Did you hear what I said? A good education, when you're teaching people and training them about what it is that you do, that's going to help them. All right. It's like a juicy, delicious meal. There is no resistance to that for the person who likes a juicy, delicious meal. Now, everybody don't like their meals juicy. Everybody don't like their meals hot, and they don't like their stuff on time. Some folks are ungrateful. Are you hearing me? But you don't stop making a meal hot and juicy and delicious and on time. You don't stop doing that. You just don't worry about them because they don't understand fine dining. Did you hear what I said? When a person comes to you for whatever it is that you do, it should be a fine dining experience. Because when you're teaching people, you are feeding people. Did you hear what I said? Educate your people. Okay, educate your clients. And your clients they will thank you for a fine dining experience and they will pay you for fine dining because you ain't never went into no fine dining and paid for no McDonald's hamburger. Are you listening to me? Because you know that the bill is going to be bigger than that. Why? Because the service was better. The education is better. The experience is better. So you pay for better experiences. I don't go in them places and eat. Why? Because I'm 62 years old. I don't want to die before I'm 63. Are you hearing me? What? I saved some money and they put that on my tombstone. He saved money at McDonald's. Dead 20 years before I should have died, 30 years before I should have died because I put that poison inside my body, eating stuff like that. That's why they call it fast food because you die fast eating that stuff. That's not the way we are in education. In education, we serve hot, juicy, delicious, marinated meals. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? And the people do what? They come back for more. Y'all probably never heard of Al Joseph. You would have had to be kicking it in the '70s when I was in the '70s when they had all these incredible songs out, and they had one cut song that said, "I'm back for more of that love that we had before. I'm back for more." So you ain't got to worry about people coming back to something that's juicy, hot, delicious, and served on time. That's what your messages do. Can I listen? I'm asking y'all. I'm pleading with you all, my brothers and my sisters. You got these juicy, delicious, hot messages, but I haven't heard it. So I can't what? I can't come and do no fine dining with you because I don't know who you are. Yourself. And what? The marketplace doesn't know who you are. I just stopped by this afternoon to encourage you to do what? Start educating us. You ain't got to worry about selling us nothing. If you educate us and it's juicy and it's hot and it's delicious and it's on time, we will beg you to take our money. Are you listening to me? These nice restaurants that treat me right, that treat Shantae right, I can't wait to get back. Are you hearing me? When they, I love to go to this place down here. I can't even think of the name of it right now. It's a steak place down here in Florida. Well, yeah, Shantae, when I need you. Well, yeah, that's a shame. I'm getting old. Anyway, but I know that I tell her let's go back there almost every time I'm down here. Why? Because the food is so juicy and delicious when you come out, and it comes out in a reasonable amount of time, but it's marinated. I mean, as soon as I put my fork into, and they got some barbecue sauce they give me too, and of course this sauce that goes onto the salmon because I eat a lot of salmon because it's good for you. So when I put my fork into the salmon and I pick it up, I almost got to pick it up. I can't hardly get the fork in it because it's so doggone juicy. Are you hearing me? And it's so doggone delicious. And the people when they come by and they're so nice to you. And they ask you maybe 4 or 5 times, "Are you okay? Anything else?" And you know what? They tag team. They send one person over to you, and then the next person comes by. You just feel like you are the king of the Nile, the queen of the Nile. And I just love looking at Shantae on the other side of the table and seeing her just smile. I'm like, look at all of that virtue that they helping to put inside of my wife. And I'm like, that's such a beautiful thing to observe, and to see her because we came through a lot of hell. We came through being dead broke together, not having nothing together, working together. We've been through a whole lot of hell together. I ain't hear me. I didn't have nothing when I met her. Nothing. Not a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of. But I had a lot of love. I had a lot of love and a lot of ambition, And I was a very educated man who just nobody knew nothing about. I was working in a warehouse and nobody knew nothing about me. So you may be working in a warehouse now, whatever it is that you're doing right now. Just come on out into the public right here online and start educating people. Don't worry about nothing. Just start educating. Just start right there. First base for you, start educating your clients. Okay? Your clients who appreciate that, they'll start buying stuff from you. You won't have to solicit them at all. No solicitation. The only solicitation you should do is like now when I'm soliciting you to what? Bring the best out of you. I'm not soliciting you to try to get you to buy nothing from me because that's never my aim. My aim is to educate you. And then if you got enough incentive on your own and want to buy something, then that's between you and your pocketbook. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And maybe you will, maybe you won't. But when I go to bed, I don't go to bed saying I sure wish they could buy something from me. I go to bed saying, Lord, did I educate the people? All right. And God is like, well done, good and faithful servant. I'm like, good. Now I can go to bed. I can have a good night's sleep. And then God said, let me tell you what, you may get to sleep tonight, or I may wake you up with another 30 revelations. Revelations. Why? Because I love the way you educate people. I know you're willing to do it. Are you willing? Are y'all willing? Look, I'm educating y'all now. I said I was gonna take 10 minutes waiting on Shantae. I think she's so sweet. She out teaching some. You know what's so beautiful? She out teaching some kids that go to school the Bible in an after school program. Ain't that beautiful? If that's beautiful, put beautiful in the chat. Ain't that beautiful? Right? That's what she's doing right now. She teaching some kids that's got out of school, they regular school. And I'm shocked that they even got a program like that at these heathen institutions that they don't want. You can talk about anything but the Bible. I'm shocked. But I'm like, man, I say, where you going today? She's like, I'm going over here. And she started naming all these little kids, little Johnny and Louise. And I'm like, that's beautiful, baby. That's beautiful. I'm feeling you on that. So she's spending a day well spent. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? All right. So you all have a beautiful day. I love you all one more time. And if you want to get educated with us, then come to the challenge next week and just put challenge in the chat if you haven't registered already. And come on over. We'd be glad to have you. It's been a plum, pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. I love you all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about that. Have a wonderful day. I do have one announcement, and that's in the morning at our regular time of speaking at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be teaching you all how to buy stock through private trust. So if you want to spread the word about that, let your friends know. If they want to understand how you buy and sell stock and buy and sell it through a private trust, so that you ain't got to pay no taxes. I'm going to teach y'all some things about stock splits and just some things that you know that I do, and just free information. Okay, I'm not no stockbroker. I can make no money off of it. I'm just going to teach you some things that you can do because some of y'all, if y'all was had some stock in some other people's companies over the last 10, 15, 20 years, you would not be working right now because you wouldn't have to work at all because you have so much money. But I'm gonna show you how to buy and sell stock, and you ain't got to pay one penny in income taxes by buying and selling them out of a trust. I'm gonna show you how to get control over that money. So that's what I'm gonna be doing in the morning. It's just an announcement for that. 10 o'clock at the Lord say the same. Have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day. And remember now that stellar is as stellar does. And y'all promise me that I'm gonna start educating your clients. You promise? All right. I'm gonna hold you to that. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.